of you for that. Congratulate all the Scouts. Speaking of Scouts, the gentleman from Loudon, Mr. Greason.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for the point of personal privilege.
The gentleman has the floor.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Tomorrow we're going to vote on the budget. We'll have a debate. We'll talk about the budget. We'll talk about the amendments that have been submitted to the clerk's office. We'll talk about a lot of different things in the budget. As you all know and hear often, it's one of the most important things that we do down here. A lot of the policy we make, good policy, but funding really is one of the most important and critical things that we do. And I ask you to look at the budget very thoughtfully over the next 24, 36 hours and come to a conclusion on how we move forward. On Sunday, we released the budget, and I'm proud of a lot of the things that we did in the budget. A lot of hard work by the chairman, the vice chairman, the majority leader, the subcommittee chairman, members of the appropriation, and all of you created a budget that did a couple things that I think are worth noting. First, investments in mental health and the safety net. You know, it's a very important part of government, and we really should focus our attention on that. Second, pay raises for teachers, state employees, state-supported employees, and state police. Number three, funding for higher education and preparing our young people for the workforce as they enter. I'm proud of a lot of the things that we did, but I'll tell you, Mr. Speaker, the thing I'm most proud of is how responsible and conservative the budget is. We talk a lot about the money that we spend. We don't talk a whole lot about the money that we don't spend. We were sent here by our constituents to be good stewards of their taxpayer dollars, to be responsible for what we do and are entrusted with. And making sure that we do that in a responsible and conservative way is the thing that I'm most proud of when I think about our budget this year. Specifically, as you heard from the gentleman from Lynchburg, we've eliminated $10 million in fees that would be placed on our constituents and our businesses. That's a lot of money that we're going to put back into the economy. Second, we eliminated $42 million of debt that the governor proposed in his introduced budget. That's debt that we would have to pay for sometime down the line. Third, we set $100 million aside to put into the rainy day fund. I mean, if I think about my three kids at home and what we try to teach them, save for the future. You've got to be prepared for the unknown. And $100 million of this budget is going into the rainy day fund, a very responsible and conservative thing that we can do. We're paying cash for things that we need now. We're not borrowing money against a future generation. We're actually paying for things like capital improvements with cash that we have today. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, we've talked for a year and a half about the $2 billion entitlement program if we are to expand Medicaid, and both the House and the Senate have rejected that in their proposed budgets. I think that's a huge point that we should continue to rally around. There's a lot of things, Mr. Speaker, to be proud of in the budget this year, but I think not spending the taxpayers' money is what I'm most proud of, and preparing for the future in a responsible and conservative manner is what I'm most proud of. And I look forward to the debate and the vote on the budget later this week. And Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you.